You motherfucker. Oh,
Why is she such a fickle bitch?
I don't know why she is, because all I wanted to do was pick up, we're still talking about queso in my team chat.
We are still talking about queso in my team chat.
Yeah, but I wanted that to be like the cold open for no reason.
Well, queso dip sounds great. We're having tacos. We're having Taco Monday this evening. It's not supposed to be Taco Monday. It's supposed to be Taco Tuesday. I love my team. They're such good people. We're weird, but we're weird in a way that meshes with each other.
Mrs. Play.
Mr. Play.
I'm back from Neebs Gaming Live.
You had an adventure.
I had quite the adventure.
Okay.
It
was your first time?
It was my first time.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome, winners, to the Wrong Button Podcast. Welcome, everyone, to the Wrong Button Podcast, the show where we talk all things nerd, most things video games, and generally anything that tickles our fancy. Wow, how did I forget that?
You're tired.
And Neebs Gaming Live. I am very tired. Before we get into it, we're going to do 2 quick housekeeping things.
Okay.
We have passed 500 subscribers on YouTube.
Woo! Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you.
So, yeah.
Tell your friends about us.
Tell your friends. Drop this link in their Discord.
No.
So for those of you who would like, we'll have stickers on Wednesday.
Nice. Is that when they arrive?
That's when they arrive.
Badass.
So if you would like stickers, please go ahead.
What do our stickers look like? I never saw a mock-up.
You haven't seen her. No, you won't.
It's a surprise.
It's
Not
a surprise.
even I know.
Not even you know.
Okay.
So we'll have stickers. So if you would like that, I will figure out a way to get them to you probably by carrier pigeon and or mail. Hogwarts owls are very expensive, so not that.
Yep.
But you guys will go ahead and get that from us, and yeah, it'll be a grand time. But clever transition. Neebs Gaming Live.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you guys who don't know, they now do like live gaming show events, which is
tell us who, for those of us who don't know, who are the Neebs Gaming people?
So
where are they from? What did they do? How did you find out about them?
So Neebs Gaming, for those of you guys who don't know, because they are an incredibly large channel now on YouTube, they started off.
So people probably know.
Yeah, they got 1.2 mil, if not more. Hold on,
Okay.
Let me fact check that one before I.
Stats.
Yeah, let me give you the stats on that one before I'm like, yeah, this is what it was. 2.36 mil. I'm sorry. I remember when they got in.
Rookie numbers. Here we are celebrating our 500.
Hey, we all started somewhere.
Exactly.
But yeah, Neebs Gaming, they are a small group of friends, and that's kind of how I'm going to put it, out of Wilmington, North Carolina, so a fantastic movie and beach town, most of them having backgrounds in movie, cinematography, and the like for a number of years. And their gaming channel, which they started 10 years ago, because this was to celebrate their 10-year anniversary of doing this, by doing a live event. So it's like Neebs Gaming, which used to have like a really funny link, but it always ended up in like world peace. Was there like it was like get him, like beat out PewDiePie, get this world peace, and that's like been their slogan for years of what they're going for as a gaming channel. So the live event is, think of a concert, but you're watching like almost team-based Let's Plays where it's like these 2 people versus these 2 people, and they're doing the banter as if we weren't there, sometimes interacting with the crowd, sometimes, telling us to shut the hell up. It was great. So I had a fantastic time going to this. I told you, like...
Where was it?
High-level stuff. I was going to go into that. Okay. I told you some high-level stuff about it, but I figured we could talk about...
saving the details.
We were
the juicy stories.
We were saving the details because it was... Yeah, the people are the details.
He's like, I want to have a podcast. I'm like, okay, we'll do it. We'll do it the day after you get back, so that way we can talk about it. It's fresh in your mind.
Exactly. So it was held in Raleigh or Durham, North Carolina, about 4 hours south of DC. So went ahead and
4 hours south of DC.
Yeah.
No. From DC?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
But like we're already like an hour and a half south of DC.
We're just south of DC.
I know, Matt, and it took you like 3.5 hours.
Yes.
Ish.
Because I tell people.
I guess the math.
Because I always tell people we're just in DC.
Right. I'm like, nah.
I always tell people we're just in DC.
Sometimes it can take us like 2.5 hours to get to DC. Okay, I digress. You're right. The math is mathing. I apologize. I'm like, no way. That didn't feel right. It is right. I'm sorry. Go on. I was fixed. I was like, no.
Me being like, oh yeah, we live in DC to everyone, just to be like, hey, that
I
we're
mean,
not
it's
like, So we live in DC, and so drove south to Durham, North Carolina, and promptly took a nap because
he had too much excitement, and that's one of Mr. Play's signature moves. He gets so excited, so hyped up, like his body is like vibrating with the tension of excitement, and then he naps. And Mr. Play, in case not all of you know, is like top tier A plus S level napper, like snoring peacefully inside of 60 seconds. I hate him for it because some of us have to take melatonin every night in order to shut down our ADHD brains. Mr. Play just rolls over so he doesn't snore and is fucking out reliably. I could set a timer. So he naps. Go on. With my spite.
So, on my way down there, I got there and I napped. But on my way down there, I was hanging out and I was driving down and not checking Discord while driving because the Discord community for Neebs Gaming had a hey, if you're going to Neebs Gaming Live, so that way you're not like bogging down everything else and everyone can kind of like communicate with each other. Mm-hmm. You could ask to be put in the Neebs Gaming Live channel, the Discord. Mm-hmm. So it was only for people that were going to be there, and they had like different things where it's like, hey, do you not have tickets to the VIP event? You know, we have people that are meeting up over here. We're doing a Neebs meetup over here.
That's a great way to funnel communication.
Oh my god, it was fantastic. So it was there was pretty much what happened was it was like, hey, this is Friday night. Do you want to do dinner?
And this was just like out there for everybody.
Yeah.
That's so intimidating. I would never do that.
And so typically that's the exact way I am.
Too many strangers. Oh God. How many people are in that Discord?
Oh, in the Discord in total? Probably well over a couple 100,000.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not like, let's meet up and do food to like 300,000 strangers.
Well, so this one was I think there were about 1,200 people for the entire event.
Okay.
So
that's still
a lot of people.
I wouldn't do that if there were more than 40 people, if I'm being honest.
So
props to the brave one.
So I can be very guys, I will find excuses to not go do things because I can be very socially awkward and just overall anxiety, nerves, this, that, the other.
Yeah, you're introverted and it taxes you to be around like high energy people.
People in general, but
yeah,
digression.
You're right, people. Period.
So I was sitting there and like this is like going on maybe 1 o'clock of I get a message like of hey, there are 4 of us, there might be 7 of us going out to dinner at Bull City Burgers and Brewery dinner in Wilmington, North Carolina, which was like that, right? So I was like, hey, yeah, I'd love to go. And they're like, awesome, you're number 5. 6 and 7 followed after me. I'm like, hey, awesome, thank you very much. I'm going to go back to paying attention to driving, so I'm not texting while I'm driving.
Love that. Love that for you.
I get to the hotel like 30, 35 minutes later, and they're like, hey, guys, we've got like 8, so we're going to push it to 7 o'clock because they said there'll be a better chance for us to sit then.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Awesome. I'm like, okay, I got to go out with
Play
people.
racks out.
I've promised. I've racked out. I wake up, and I'm like, okay, I got a little bit of time. Get ready, catch my Uber over there to 30-something people. And so to make sure that we're all doing it...
Did your anxiety spike?
Oh, so I would say in almost any other circumstance, yes. But what made this so different is like, so I wore my thick 44 shirt, bright purple. So people are like, oh, you're Neebs Gaming guy.
The merch.
Like, yeah, you can come here. Everyone except for, and I'm going to start with the first person that I met that night, whose name is Ohio Jedi. Um, when we all got there, a lot of us had like, "Hello, my name is," and we just put our online tag. So the wrong button is what I used for all of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Because Chris is so hard to remember.
yeah, Chris is so hard to remember. So I'm going to talk about like the 5 people that like I end up hanging out with because you'll see where they play a massive role in it.
And your storytelling adventures.
And except for one, Jack's name's actually going to be mentioned because it's for a later setup later on that was pretty funny. So Jack, I'm sorry for outing that your name is Jack. So the first one I met out of this group was Ohio Jedi, and his first words to me, like, I think he was like, "Oh, you're one of us," like things like that. But that was at me, not to me. His first words to me were, "How are you really going to have an Imperial cog tattoo?"
These are important questions.
He's like, "We were about to have words," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't." And I rotate my arm, and after that, it was just like, okay, there's point one thick as thieves. We're both Star Wars fans, and then we're Neebs Gaming fans. So you said anxiety spike. Spouse, one of the things that I love most is an inside joke. And one of my problems is it's an inside joke that like I get
only to you.
And I'm just giggling like a maniac.
Yep.
Okay, imagine going somewhere with hyper niche inside jokes that everyone gets.
Because you're all in on the joke.
Because we're all in on the joke.
Thing. That does sound wonderful.
So it was immediately like we're sitting there going like, oh, I don't
banter.
know. Yeah, like walk, like
banter.
We might have to walk for a little bit. And I don't know if I can do it. And it was like, not with that attitude, but you got a shit bucket, and you're giving me that
here,
face.
like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, you're giving me that face, and someone else is going like, yeah, if you're not doing something, if you're taking a shit, but you're shitting in a bucket, now you're doing something, and it's a Battlefield Friends reference. You have no idea.
I'm so happy for you. That was such a weird thing to say.
I know.
I'm sorry.
At any other point,
the rest of us lame normal people.
At any other point, I'd have been like, oh, that was a really awkward thing to say. But then everyone just starts making shit bucket jokes and Battlefield Friends jokes. And then we're like, okay, how did you get into Neebs Gaming? And I was like, well, so I played Battlefield with my friends, and Battlefield Friends started airing with Battlefield 3. So we had group chats back in the day where we would all just be like, you're a chopper whore, and whatever we were doing, just talking about Battlefield and, hey, we're going to play tonight, this, that, the other. And that's how that's like how my night started. And it was like immediately like with people. You said it was like a sense of belonging. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. I didn't know I could feel that way.
Yeah. What exactly was your phrase? Because you were so sweet about it.
Yeah, you guys, the 5 of you and anyone else that, is going to follow this because of Neebs Gaming, it's going to get like a lot on Mr. Play right now. And at this time, I also ended up meeting with Extreme Marksman and Snackleinberg. So Extreme Marksman and Jack. Like I said, Jack is going to keep his name because of a joke later. And Extreme Marksman, who are 2 of the tallest people that I have ever met. To the point where we kept on referring to them as the 2 towers. Like, are the Ents going to be coming? Because it was like, all right, we're missing one of our 2 towers. The Neebs Gaming guys are all pretty tall, and all of them had to look up to these 2. So it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, what's up?
They were probably some of the nicest people I've ever met. Everything clicked. We were all here for one hyper-specific thing, and we were able to grow after that. And it's like, oh my god, he's experiencing belonging.
So
don't cry.
That was a text from me to Mrs. Play. What time was that?
That was only sent at 8:04 in the morning the following.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's okay.
Yeah, that's Saturday morning.
So
he experienced his first sense of belonging
in a very, very long time. So we finish up dinner, and then we walk, and we're like, what sounds good? Ice cream. So Simon is one of the people in Neebs Gaming. He's one of the characters, as well as one of the people who play the games. He was in Battlefield Friends, everything else. and we go to Simon Says Dip It, which is an ice cream thing, which is where they have like the fun shells and they put it over top of the ice cream.
Yeah, like a Dairy Queen but fun flavors for like a chocolate dip.
Yes.
Yep.
So I got a key lime one. That was fantastic. I talked other people into a key lime one because I was like, no, but it's like tart, like key lime. It was absolutely delicious. I don't care that I'm a little lactose intolerant.
Worth it.
So we went there. We ended up leaving
Fuck some consequences.
We ended up leaving a couple people behind.
Rip.
Went back, got them, and so after that, sorry. I should also say while we were here, Zero Finite also joined us. They are an amazing artist in their own right, and they and myself, we clicked super hard, and I'll get into that later as well, because that happened a little bit after. So afterwards, we're like, okay, what are we doing? And so we walk over, there's like a little square, and things are happening, and we're kind of looking at stuff, and like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, hey, you know the VIP thing's at the boxcar? I'm like, what's the boxcar? Like, well, it's a barcade. It's like, okay.
What's a barcade?
But we don't have tickets. And it's like, well, you can go to the front part, you just can't go to the VIP part. So let's go crash the VIP party.
Nice.
So we went to the front part where they were.
How far of a walk was that?
It was probably about a mile and a quarter.
Okay, that's not bad. It's easy peasy.
So we end up walking down there, sitting out front of it way too long, and just shooting the shit before going into it. And so just to let you know, this is now Jack, Extreme Marksman, Ohio Jedi, and Zero Finite, and myself, along with a group of other people that were in there with us for the majority of it all. And so we go in there, and we stand around and talk like
yeah, that's what people do.
Yeah, that's what people do. But we're at a place to like play games.
So a barcade is what it sounds like.
Dave and Buster's, but like
yeah,
not as like
things.
machine. Like it had like 2 rows of pinball machines. It had a bunch of classic like. It had like Time Crisis 3 that didn't work, a Terminator game that didn't work, a Halo game that didn't work.
That didn't work. Okay.
And like the light gun would be like, you'd be aiming here and be shooting down here. Like it was off.
Not calibrated.
And then like, oh, go to the other one. The other one works, but the other one, the coin dispenser doesn't work, so you can't it was.
That's jank. I kind of like it though.
I spent $10 and I don't think I used $2 of it. I just left the quarters somewhere for someone. So we were there and we were talking, and I eventually go around and try a few things. Ohio's enjoying his vodka and water with lemon, which was the primary liquid he consumed. We did confirm today that we know he ate one actual meal, which was a veggie burger, that we all were giving him shit for. So we were sitting there, and at this point, he was talking to Zero Finite, and Zero Finite was describing she's in the service. They're going to med school. And they're talking about where they're going to med school. And I'm like, you and I,
a friend of mine.
Like, we have to know.
Yeah, 3 degrees of separation.
3 degrees of separation, and not directly, but I believe that our friend might be an adjunct of theirs. So I'm sitting there talking and like going to med school, and eventually I just stop and I'm like, are you going to this field exercise in Pennsylvania in like 2 to 3 weeks? She's like, no, you motherfucker. I'm going to that field exercise in 5 weeks. How the fuck do you know about that field exercise? Turns out they're northern DC. We're south of DC. So we live super, super close. And like just hit it off right there and like thick as thieves. Like, if I was going to get in trouble with someone, it was going to be them.
Okay.
Spouse, I'm not saying we would knock over a liquor store, but if you'd be like, why'd you knock over a liquor store? I'd be like, well, I don't know. We just kind of got into it, and that's what we did. They're very responsible.
They're not the ones I'm worried about.
So, more honestly, guys, it was a lot of sitting and talking and making like the Neebs Gaming Among Us jokes where it's like, oh, Abstro's dead. Well, that checks out. Like, just making really off-the-cuff jokes from that. But
so fucking niche.
But everyone was in on the joke.
I'm so happy for you.
Like, I'm not making a joke and having people go like,
That was a weird thing to say.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, meanwhile,
So, my sober ass, 3 cans of Red Bull into it.
damn. I wouldn't call that sober, spouse. That just wasn't alcohol, but I wouldn't say that you were sober.
They were sugar-free.
So you're just high on aspartame and caffeine. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Not sober. Go on.
So, the other fun fact for you guys, I closed a bar at an after party 2 nights in a row back to back.
That was so past your bedtime.
Coming from Mama Play, if you set out to close a bar, you will never close a bar. But closing a bar or like staying out till the sun comes up is all about like the right place at the right time and the right people. And I had that all in fucking spades. So more time goes by and we're sitting out there and it's like, oh hey, that's Duralius at the end of the bar over there. Who is he is Dora with Neebs Gaming or Duralius, also from. I'm just gonna make you sound and watch like Duralius and Associates with me one day.
Okay.
Which was their first. It was like their RPG nights, really like their animation style you remember from Battlefield Friends, but like a whole overarching story.
Okay.
That was really silly and really fun. So people like going over to meet him, and then it's like, hey, that's Simon. That's Abstro. Fuck, that's Neebs.
That's the guys. Those are the people we're here to see.
Yeah, they were all filtering out. So like we sat there
because the VIP event was over.
Yeah, the VIP event was over. They had some issues with scalpers, sadly. Or Mill had some. But they came out to the bar and they just sat and shot the shit with us. And they were talking about like, yeah, people was like, oh, it must be so like insane being famous, or it must be terrible. You don't get privacy. Like, no, we get to do shit like this. Like, we just get to sit around and talk to people that like the same kind of things we like. Because, like everyone else, when you create something, you often
create that community.
What you like. And so, like, I sat there talking to Abstro, and we were all talking to him.
What was it like meeting your heroes?
Meeting my heroes?
Because that can be fraught.
Or
people that you highly admire,
that I highly admire
and wish to emulate.
So it wasn't. I didn't even want to say it was surreal, because there was no point where I was like super starstruck, because the way they play things off is like, they started when they started the animation and everything else. They went out and rented a one of the like storage lockers, that people are always doing.
I remember
because it was
about that.
cheaper than
trying to rent an office space.
And you could hear kind of tinny stuff in some of their early recordings. And now they have an office. They have a team of, I want to say it's like 8 or 12 people.
Proper soundproofing.
Yeah. And so it was just cool to sit down and, shoot the shit with them and be like, hey, I was a little bummed because I wore a Neebs shirt so I'd be easy to like locate. But do you remember the movie Birdies? I made us watch the golfing movie. So
I'm nodding yes.
Dora was the shaman guy in that you were like, oh, he's just weird.
I felt like all of them are weird, but yes,
well,
I used to recall.
And all I wanted to do was not have anything Neebs Gaming go, hey, you're Nate from this. Like, you were from Birdies, man. And I wanted to do that bit and just like not have any idea what that is. Like, what are you doing here, man? In order to fit in and not feel like ostracized and not be able to find my people or be known, I wore my Neebs Gaming shirt and repped that. So like opportunities missed, but there was the place had pizza. I didn't have any because I was pizzaed out, but the place had pizza spouse.
Getting old. And
let me tell you, the pizza smelled so good. And one of the kids behind the counter, the pizza thing was like, oh hey, what's everyone here for? And we're all like, oh, Neebs Gaming. And he's like, Neebs, like, from Duralius and Associates? What's Neebs Gaming? So he knew them from their animation days. So they like run and grab Dora to bring him over to meet him. He goes, hi, I'm Duralius. And the kid went home to be like, dude.
How old was you? Calling him a kid?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So it's like I told someone when I was there, like a lot of people were also my age because like 10 years of like watching this. So like coming into their 30s or mid 30s. And thank you, spouse. So I was like, there are times where I would look at people talking about Ohio who was occasionally like looking at a sniper two, which is a Letterkenny reference for those of you out there. And he was like, there are some peak snipes in the area, and I was like, yeah, they all look like, and they're all in a bar after 9:00, so they're all at least 21 or have a really good fake ID.
Do people still do that?
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I looked at him and I'm like, God, you look like you're a child. Like, oh. And so it was just one of those things that hit me. But yeah, so hanging out with them, and then like Anthony from Culture Shock Network, who I watch stream a fair amount, he was outside, so I got to walk outside and be like, hi, I'm the wrong button. You constantly call my name during streams, and I just want to know why. And he was like, hey, so got to like shake his hand. He was eating and I felt bad because I was like, he's outside. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, dude, he's eating. Like, I was like, thank you. I just wanted to introduce myself, talk to you later. And he was cool about that and went about his day.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me eat my sandwich in peace.
Yeah, I was like, But then I ran into Whack, who does so Neebs Gaming, high level for you guys, they're known for survival games.
Okay.
So 7 Days to Die, Conan Exiles, Ark, a couple others in there that they've done. But Conan Exiles, they did a long time ago, and they did a newer series of it, and they kind of started to like hold, I guess, where they weren't like making progress because the game has like a story. So they brought in this guy named Whack, who's just incredibly knowledgeable about the game, has his own awesome community about it. So I just got to sit there and talk to him, and like these are stickers of like his character who he made in Conan Exiles. Her name is Phoenix, and like that is the character that he just constantly creates. He's working on doing something else. I'm hoping to get him for an interview, actually, talk to him about that. And then like his logo, who is a really cool, super down to earth guy. Nice. Talk to him about like, hey, how's it been? He has a big channel. It is the equivalent of like, oh, I have a big channel to like a corporation versus a mega corporation. Like once you get into the millions of subscribers and things like that. So talking to him about that, working with them, what has he noticed, and just, hey, no, this is his like idea of when it came to building his community and what he was truly trying to create and cultivate. Being
intentional. Okay.
Yeah, so like really cool, down to earth guy. His wife is super nice. She let me bum a cigarette.
The truth comes out.
Yeah, and so talked to them, went back inside, continued talking with the group of people that I had met, and just all around really awesome time until like they were like, hey, everyone, it is like 2 a.m. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
So we're leaving with everybody else, and we're walking back, and Duralius is like FaceTiming his girlfriend. So on the corner, it's like, dude, just go around the thing, like go talk to her over there. And he's like sitting on the ground, like eating a pizza, like FaceTiming her. So we're like walking up and put a cup down, dropping coins in the cup like he's homeless. Like, leave the poor homeless man alone.
Jesus, you guys.
I like, honestly, such a good sport about it all too.
Yeah. Gentle roasting.
Oh my god, they all were. So yeah, we go back. I do my, as most of my friends from college call it, my mama bear thing, and make sure everyone gets back to their hotel.
No, you turn into like a herding dog. Like mama bear, protective, yes, but also golden retriever energy. But yeah, you'll go from the front of the line to the back of the line, herding the people, directing them. Time to walk. Wait, wait. Okay, now we can walk. The sign says we can cross now. You have to follow the signs. It's not your town. Like, that's you. You turn into like a herding dog.
So we were all just causing a riot and laughing the entire way back, and
disturbing to peace, but in like a G-rated way.
Oh my god. get them back. I know a lot of them went inside. There was an after party with like Zydax, the Zydax PC guys, and the Fun Pimps who made 7 Days to Die. I got back to my hotel. I get back to my hotel about 3:30. I shower, and I promptly fall asleep. Now, the next day for you guys, I know we're about half hour into this podcast. I want to show you how good I can do a time skip here to make sure that you guys are good. I wake up. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm. You talk to me.
I talk to my lovely wife, and then I'm like, I need breakfast. So I go find a breakfast place. Found a record store. It's a record store bar. So they weren't open. I couldn't go in to find treasures.
Okay.
Get some bagels. Had fantastic lox while I was there, guys. Like, you eat these and you have to go brush your teeth. Everything bagels with all the onions and the breath was ripe.
That's how we know it's good. It was offensively strong in the right ways.
Go back to the hotel. Post because we started like a group chat in Discord.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey guys,
sound off. Who's not
sound
dead?
off? Is everyone okay? Everyone alive? I think I get like one answer at 10 o'clock.
Nice.
And I was like, well, if they all go, hey, we're all going here, I'll go out with them.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'm going to chill in my room because I need to recharge.
You did a lot of peopling.
So I wake up and it's 4.
Mm-hmm. Closed his eyes just for he blinked and then it was 4 p.m.
And we're all like, okay, what
his
are we?
breath is now funky because he was asleep.
I was asleep for a while. So we end up, we're all like, okay, what do we want to do? And I was like, well, I figured we should eat like closer to 5 because everything starts at 7. And we want to, like, we're going to want to get there, maybe look at some merch, things like that. Because it's just like a concert. And so we're there and we're walking around and we're talking and we go and we're like, okay, we're gonna go get ramen. We're gonna go to like an izakaya.
What's an izakaya?
It's a Japanese bar.
Yep.
But they like the izakaya place wasn't open because we were all hoping to get meat on a stick like we did in New York. But we got ramen. It was solid ramen. I liked it. I got kimchi that was very like peanut oil flavored. Like, so it had more of earthy.
Mm-hmm.
It just had a little bit of spice. It wasn't bad. I like your kimchi. It's still my favorite. But
thank you. That was the right answer.
But it was a solid, like, oh, this is definitely a homemade kimchi. And so mind you that we're there with other people, and I ordered a homemade ginger ale. And I was like, what's it taste like? I'm like, do you want a sip? Like, I don't have a communicable disease. Like, here you go, pass it around.
Allegedly.
Yeah, so everyone's trying like a sip of that, and someone's like, I put a straw in it, and you like bent it over. I was like, I don't understand people being like, here's a straw to drink from, but the liquid's in the container that you're like, well, don't let it touch your lips.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't
no
understand
backwash, please.
So everyone tries a sip of that. We all have the ramen, more gentle roasting, and we go to the concert venue. So now I've told you that I've been hanging out with
this core group of friends.
Extreme Marksman, Ohio Jedi, Zero Finite, and then Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason Jack's name is being dropped is so we go there, we check in, and we're waiting in line, and it comes around and he goes, hey, so what is your actual name? And I'm like, oh, I'm Chris. And he goes, oh, that's cool. That'll be easy to remember because so-and-so's Chris. And, you know, we all have each other's names. And he goes, well, I'm Jack. And I stop, and I turn and look at him. And I'm like Neebs Gaming Jack? Jack is their newest editor. Anthony has been on the team for a while. Jack is their newest editor. This Jack was not that Jack.
Oh, let down. Dramatic tension and a letdown.
But he's like, how funny would it have been? Just be like, yeah, no, I just wanted to blend in with you guys.
Yeah,
I was just having a good time with you all.
Nice. That would have been amazing.
It was just like, but it was just
It was a good play.
Wait, what are we doing? So, mind you, we're standing in the merch line. We go in there. The Fun Pimps hand us, you saw my bag. I've got like a 7 Days to Die mouse pad that's really nice quality, a tote bag. I got some cool merch, but we're sitting in there, and at one point, you know, someone goes, science! And you just hear, science! Science, like echoing down the hall from their grounded Let's Play because you would hear him yell that out. Mrs. Neebs was working behind the merch counter.
Which Mrs. Neebs?
Mrs. Neebs, wife of Neebs.
Okay. There's like 5 people, and I don't know like who's married and who isn't, so that's why I'm asking. 4 people? Regardless.
Yeah. Mrs. Neebs.
Okay. Mrs. Neebs, number 1.
And then Mama Neebs comes through.
All right.
Yeah, Mama Neebs and Mrs. Neebs are very different.
Uh-huh.
So Mama Neebs comes through, and there are people cosplayed as characters from Duralius and Associates. Like, so she's like, oh my god, you're the lady in the lake with the Zephyr Blade. I have to get a picture with you. And Mama Neebs is just like having so much
life.
It was like, that's my favorite thing that they've done. And it's just one of those, like, your mom is so supportive that she like came to the show.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's like teenage dreams right there.
Yeah, like his wife's at the show. Duralius obviously left his girl. I have no idea. where I'm not going to start throwing things out there.
Things. That's how you get uninvited.
Yeah, I know, right? So the 5 of us, we've all decided that, like, hey, if we find out they're doing another show and we all want to go, we're all just going to get together, pull tickets, and go together. Spouse, the people I was with, like, I could have never made it to the show and been happy just sitting and shooting the shit with them. And I'd have been completely fine with it. Went to the show. Show was such a fun time. They come out. Spouse, it opened like a Buffett concert with people cheering. I make that because Thick hated Jimmy Buffett. And I sent you when they played Burger or Beach Burger.
Yes.
That sounds like Cheeseburger in Paradise, but it's not Cheeseburger in Paradise. And so like they did, the first one was like, that's Amore, because Neebs comes out and goes, there's a lot of love here, and then they break into that and they go into the next game. And they had like fun technical difficulties. I know there are times that you'll get like frustrated because like, oh fuck, like something stopped working partway through. They had it, and it lent itself to such a level of charm that, like, no, you're just sitting here watching them play this game, like you're not even there and you're just enjoying them. What's up?
When you get seated and you're enjoying your show, you were texting me a little bit on Saturday, and I was like, "You still? Oh, it was at intermission. I'm like, you still hanging out with your people? No, we're all sitting in different spots. I think we're all going out after this. Thank you for encouraging me to go." And I hearted the message. I was like, "You got to do the things that would have made little you happy." And your response was, little me couldn't fathom something like this. It's walking and instantly fitting in to some extent. Like, you're walking in, you're instantly fitting in.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like laying in bed, like, oh my God, he's experiencing belonging. Like, that's really when I was like, those are the words. That's what it was. Like, I was so over the moon happy for you that you went, that you got out of your comfort zone and met with some people, and that you all meshed, and that you met up afterwards and you continued to mesh, and that you just like enjoyed the show itself and getting to meet people that you look up to and others in the, like peers in the industry and other people that you look up to in the industry, and just getting to have like those like authentic fitting in moments.
It was
like top tier experiences.
It 100% was. Like, in the fact that you could like jeer from the crowd and they would roast you right back.
I mean, that's good.
You
all need to stay humble.
At one point, they might have been like talking about me. It was like, then I met this person, Duralius, who was a Marine. Some asshole was like, Marines aren't people.
Was that you? That sounds like something you'd say.
And someone at the top goes, fucking Air Force. And so now we're roasting each other back and forth.
So it was you. It does sound like something you would say.
But it was really touching about how they like talked about how they met. Like me roasting Duralius for being a Marine aside. Because he does like head on a swivel and a bunch of things that when he says it, my brain like clicks in and goes, nope, what he's saying is the 100% accurate thing to do. Yeah, great time watching that. I sent you, I think all the musical numbers.
It was odd because I'm like, they're doing these strange, odd rendition covers. I'm like, I know the actual words.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's fucking with my brain because they're doing the tune. And the cadence is right, but the words are all wrong. And I'm like, no, stop. Glitching. I don't like this.
But at one point they were like, oh, there's a game that we've all been enjoying that we were going to download real quick. And it took like 10 minutes to download this game. Oh, it was actually closer to 20 minutes. But then they were like, let's do bad questions. And so they're pulling in a question box.
Oh, dear.
And instead of getting like, hey, why don't you guys? It was like, why? Just why? As a question.
That's a very good question.
Like, what the hell am I watching? Was another question. It was just really good. I'm just like, and like one of them was like, that's not a question, it's a fucking statement. It's a goddamn fortune cookie. They were just having fun with it, and it was great.
Everyone was good on their feet.
Oh god, these guys are superb when it comes to being on their feet.
Just improv.
They get the last game. The last game, they're like, remember we said this would be like a 5-minute game to kill time? The last game took like 25 minutes. Then they revealed that, hey, they've been working on a mod for a game that they like. So we got to see this really special mod of a game that we all really like.
First look.
Yeah, we got a first look at like 2 game trailers that are coming out at Gamescom this week.
Awesome.
So, yeah, they got some screenshots of 2 new zombies for 7 Days to Die, and it was just those 2 zombies. So like, look, here's that zombie. Well, here's the other zombie, and the first zombie again. And they did that like enough times to be like, oh, this is a fun bit to do. So we got to see things like that were absolutely. Yeah, it was so much fun, and like we're not a survival game channel, but I can totally see the appeal of people sitting down to play one of these games, like Minecraft or things like that. So they wrap up, they play the final game. The way they sign out is singing their rendition of "Take Me Home, Country Road,"
which has been stuck in your head non-stop.
So guys, it is 7:30 Monday evening EST, and I was singing that so much today that my boss stopped me and went, Chris, I need you to pick a different fucking song. I need you
while you're cooking dinner tonight.
I listened to it twice,
humming along as you're like waiting for me to like heat up my tea, humming it to himself. Like, I need you to pick a different song.
Guess what's still going in my head now, Smal?
And you're like, I'm working by myself tomorrow. It's just me and my thoughts.
Country road.
Who gave you what are you rocking on your wrist? Tell me.
So that's what I was gonna get to. We finish up the show, and they have there's a brewery up the street. And they're like, "Hey guys, after party." Yeah. So I have friendship bracelets. I have
like at a Taylor Swift concert. Like you came home, it was just like, "This is where we put our change and our keys." And I said, "This little braided bracelet."
Neebs Gaming live necklace.
And I'm like, "Do you have a friendship bracelet?"
If you look by the wrong button, first dollar. I've got 2 wooden challenge coins that somebody made.
Yeah, you do. Something like 3D printed these.
Yeah. I just colored them in, and they're just
gaming.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's a ton of fun. There's a rubber ducky, I'm pretty sure, in your luggage because Anthony. There were rubber duckies. I wanted to
see the friendship bracelet.
There were rubber duckies all over the fucking town. Like there were like welcomes Neebs Gaming live. Like people play
cute.
Like the high school. Like I don't know where it was.
Cute.
It's spouse. It was excellent.
And it's like NGL. Neebs Gaming Live with a heart bead and then 24.
And purple, I think that's the purple heart is because that is the cancer that Vic sadly passed to.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm wearing my friendship bracelet, guys.
Repping the friendship bracelet. No, so excited for you.
So we go to the brewery, to which Zero Finite and I stand in that line for about 45 minutes to an hour to try to get
a drink or to get inside. Oh,
no, get a drink.
They are very pretty. They could have used their pretty privilege.
No, everyone's here for the same thing. Get the fuck in the back of the line. That's not how that works.
Damn it! Let's see where my feminine brain goes. I'm like, we're using pretty privilege.
It's
privileges.
So they and I, like, I went in there and I ended up getting like I tried the Liquid Death has a agave like tea that is also like, hey, hydration, like all the B vitamins and buzzword. So I had 2 of those to try to get everything back into me that I'd been like sweating out. At this point, I got to sit down and like talk to Anthony from Culture Network more
Say that again, slower.
Anthony from Culture Shock Network more.
There you go.
CSN Anthony. And we got to talk to him about like what he does on his stream, and just like, oh hey, and actually got pictures with him because me and pictures, and he's like, get in here.
You took so many selfies.
He's like, I'm wet, you're wet guys together. Wet privilege. When two wet guys get together, we can touch, but otherwise it's rude. He goes, oh yeah, you're wet. I'm like, oh thank God. I was gonna feel so weird if you're like, get in here, and you were dry.
And I'm damp and you're damp.
So we were both wet together.
Wet like the back of a dolphin. Okay, I was just like, that's an unpleasant interaction, but I'm so happy for you. I'm glad that the two of you
talked about bunny girls and cat girls.
Happy for you.
Yeah, it was great. So I was like, oh, are you going to be getting this? He's like, bounced off of Monster Hunter, and I'm like, oh, of course, everyone does. I was like, what about Gundam? You like Mecha? And he goes, well, I like Mecha Break because you can play as the female characters, and you can use sliders to make the character more voluptuous. He likes playing as the bunny girl in First Descendant. And he goes, I'm not gonna I like bunny girls. I like bunny ears on a girl. I don't know why. And I was like, I get that. Cat ears on a woman. Totally understand. He goes, I hope you get your cat ears in the future. He's like, I have. I met his girlfriend who goes by Pink Rabbit, who is a VTuber streamer from the UK. Talked to her because she has game design, and the mod that came out, she developed all the sprites and the wind animations. So I just talked to her about that for a little bit. Talked to her about like after uni, what she's planning. Just talking to her about industry stuff because that was really cool. Found Whack and Whack's wife. Talked to them. Zero Finite is a fantastic artist, and they are drawing like Whack's character. They have a realism style, and if I would have thought about it, I would have gotten pictures of the tattoos that they have because, spouse, let me tell you, they're hauntingly gorgeous.
Nice.
They go to Ren Fair fully decked out like
nice.
forest shamans. Like your rune, like I want to be rune spellcat. Like they take that to 12.
That does sound nice. That would make me braver to try.
Yeah.
I'm very picky.
So talk to Whack, talk to Anthony there. I met the actual Jack of Neebs Gaming Neebs Gaming.
Imposter.
Yeah, exactly. And talked to him about what it was like getting started. Talked to all the Neebs members. Talked to Whack for a fair amount. Talked to other people that are just like, oh, hey, where are you guys from? Oh, Ohio. What do you do? I do this. Oh, I work in data centers. They're like, oh shit. Blah blah. Did you know about all the data centers in Ohio? And like it was just like, oh, we're talking to the Zydax guys. We're talking to this. Probably like my two favorite parts of the night were I'm standing in line and music and myself. So we're like,
all of the words to all of the songs.
Oh my God.
Always. That is one of your superpowers.
So we're going inside to this brewery. We're going through the warehouse.
Sounds sketchy as hell.
Oh yeah, it was great. And we're finally getting to the bar, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just it was Jimmy Eat World in the middle. Just take some time, right?
Yes.
And a guy comes up and hands me what looks like a film roll. He goes, "Hey, let's make it better." It was the like, "Hey, you look cool. Here's a fat ass joint."
That's what it ended up being.
Called Cookies and Cream. By the way, it was super mellow.
So
had that yesterday.
So happy for you.
Had one that night to split it with Jedi because Jedi's out there smoking, so we're sitting there like passing up. Found someone else with a THC vape pen, so
God damn.
Yeah, oh yeah. I was nice and loosey goosey. So that was fantastic. And then so Zydax ended up buying, I've heard, either 900 cases or 900 cans of beer. Doesn't matter. I want to do 900 cases because that's more fun.
It's a bigger number, yeah.
And they were like, no, go to beer. If you can open it, it's yours. And so they're like, you can use two hands. I'm like, no, now it's a challenge. So then it became me just cracking them open with one hand at a time, like handing them out to people.
Spouse became a party trick.
It was a party trick for a time. It was just doing that for a little bit. My hands were so sticky because they were like hazy IPAs, hibiscus IPAs. Like it was great. Neebs Gaming Live had a beer there. I almost bought it. I didn't realize that's what it was. Otherwise, I would have bought it and brought one home to try and put up. But yeah, so wrapped up there. The other guys were like, we closed that place like at 2:30. They played like closing time, and then they were like, "I don't care where you're going, you can't stay here. Everyone get the fuck out."
Respect that.
But they were very nice about it. Let's get
Sure.
off the property, go over there. The cosplayers were still there, like getting pictures with the guys, and they like talked to the Zydax PC guys, talked to the Fun Pimps a little bit, just about like, hey, you have a gaming company, you have this, you have like you're developers, you just 1.0 of your game just released, like your game's been in pre-alpha and alpha for a while. How does it feel to be like, nope, the game is like ostensibly done,
launching?
We can add to it, but like it is done. It is like a finished product is fully out. Not to say it hasn't been, but so that released, and just talking to them, and then everyone else was just super chill, super down to earth. More than happy talked about the things like we're all here for this thing that brought us all together. It was a great time. Ended up walking back, walked Zero Finite back to the hotel that they were at because buddy system, and they had to catch a flight the next morning. So I was like, okay, let's get you back. And I get back to my room, and I'm like, I'm awake.
What time is it by the time you got back?
2:30.
Okay, that's when things closed, and
yeah,
it's still 2:30.
It was closer to 2:30 by the time I got back.
Okay.
About 2:45 by the time I was packed up and actually just drove home because I was just wide awake.
Yep, wired because you had a good time.
Had a great time.
Just like when you get out of concerts.
Yeah, drove home. Only real complaint I had is that like every fucking 24-hour McDonald's was closed, and I realized how bad I had the munchies.
Yeah.
And just never got food for it.
Yikes.
So I pull in here. We have a 24-hour McDonald's that I've shame ordered from before, and just stopped in there. Got like 2 big ass McGriddles and like 4 hash browns.
Don't judge me.
Before I got home and got to chill. But yeah, after that, I still have. There's like 6 of us in this group chat, which are just people from.
Yeah, just
people
the
from
memes that you guys were sending each other.
Yeah,
we
were sending
gifts you were sending each other the following day.
Oh, and then today it just continued. Like all of the pictures of us all being in there together are. Yeah, it was just.
You made friends.
Yeah, some of the best people I will ever be able to meet. All of them are super kind and very, very nice and generous with their time.
Welcoming.
So yeah, that was Neebs Gaming Live. Like even going to say it's hyper specific. Like going to PAX, yeah, we all like video games. Going to MagFest, we like music, we like video games. But this was like it would be like it'd be like going to like I don't even want to say like a Gundam event, because like even when we went to Gundam, you'll still talk to people that might know different parts of Gundam. But this was just like, nope, we're here for Neebs Gaming Live. We might have jumped in at different points, but
you're all familiar with like their products.
Yeah,
the
it's just this one
shows.
place, and so yeah, one of like the best experiences I will say I've ever had. The Neebs Gaming guys, Simon, Apsro, Dora, Neebs, fantastic. Like the crowd lighting up from Mama Neebs standing in the merch line, and just like sitting around like having a couple beers, shooting the shit. The band was really good that was at the place. They were really loud. They started playing like Black Eyed Peas to like close out their night. So that was a ton of fun. They were all very generous with their time if you wanted to like talk about something. And like I talked to Jack about, he really likes sound design and videos, and that's what like he focuses on. And like it'd be so interesting to like pick his brain on stuff like that. Talking to Whack, who's also built a small community and is now a part of the larger Neebs. Kane, who built an entire modding version of 7 Days to Die called Darkness Falls. But he built it, and it's its own complete independent story. But it blew up for him, and helped him out immensely. And just he was there. Every one of them were the most down to earth, kindest people you could meet. From the fans, like I know I talked a lot about this core group because that's who I was with, but when we ran into anyone, that's all it was. It was just
That's
you.
awesome and so thoughtful and intentional.
Yeah.
Because like you're just big enough where if you want to like meet different people throughout the day, throughout the night, you totally could, and not feel like I'm with this one group and that's it. Otherwise, I'll run into them over and over again. But it's not like pack size where it's like 40, 50, 80,000 people, and your main hosts, like their time is in such demand that you don't have the opportunity to really sit and have these like thoughtful conversations with them and just have the opportunity to pick their brain. And it's not like there's a line 40 deep behind you waiting for, they're like, oh my God, you're my favorite thing.
Yeah, it was.
So like that's so special.
Yeah. Like they talked about going out to Vegas, and if that was next year, I think all of us would pull tickets together to go to Vegas to see them.
Okay.
'Cause
I've never been to Vegas. I would go with you.
Go with me. I'd take
go
yeah.
with you.
They're a really awesome. They're a really awesome group of people, and like I said, you not even being like a Neebs Gaming fan because Zero and I were talking about that where we were talking about our significant others or spouses, like, oh, not really into this. And like, well, we could hang out, and then we could bring our spouses along. They could see what it's like to look at it from the outside.
They can be the weird ones. Have fun being an outsider.
Well, no, they they meant like anywhere.
I just went that way.
Yeah,
because it was amusing to me.
But yeah, great group of people. I couldn't say enough good things. If you guys have out there in the listening world, something that you really like, and they do a live thing. Like, I went to go see the closest thing I can remind this to was God, it had to be like 5-6 years ago. The Gundam movie came back out, and I went to go see it at midnight, and there were like 12 of us in the theater, clapping every time one of the kids got slapped. Like, Jesus. Yeah, oh yeah, it's
love that we're
child violence. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
don't worry about
applauding bad parents.
Yeah, he's not their parent; he's their commanding officer. Very different. But that's the closest that this felt. And it was in that sense, like this was like that crank to 11. Everyone was incredibly kind. It was such a great time. So closed the bar 2 nights in a row, and haven't really come off that high yet. So that's
so happy for you.
Thank you.
So that's wonderful.
So
that's like that's even better than like I didn't know what to hope for or to expect. Like I hope he has a good time, but you've walked away with like real friendships and real connections, and you got to like meet people you look up to and have thoughtful conversations with. Like that's so fucking cool. That's like the best anyone could hope for, and I'm so happy you got to experience that and that you went and that you were brave and got out of your comfort zone and you did the things.
I did.
That's incredible.
So thank you, Neebs Gaming, for hosting such a really awesome event. Really couldn't have done it without you guys, but at the same time, being there with these people, could have missed the show, and I've been completely happy. It'd have been just as much of a success. Anything else for you? Any questions? Sitting right at that hour mark, want to make sure that...
No, I'm good.
All right. If you guys enjoyed this, please don't forget to comment, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Podcast available on all your podcast platforms of choice. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel and you would like
a sticker,
I'll have a link to our email below, or hit me up in Discord, and I will be more than happy to get stickers out to you guys. It is limited quantity, but you can get a sticker or two coming to you in the mail. Remember, you're all winners out there. Keep it weird, and have a fantastic rest of your day, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.